Your Drippy's home, yeah. You already know this, your boy Drippy on the building back another thing. If you know the vibe, make sure you like, I'm subscribe, show love, do you do best, you already know this, don't stress them out of breath. Baby. Get that baby back ribs. Say no. I ain't gonna waste no more time, man. We're gonna get straight into it, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you check me out. I'm live on Twitch right now. If you see bubbles, you see me talking to chat. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you check out the socials as well. Google me, DriPPie360. Let's get into it, man.
The following program is rated TV MA. Viewer discretion is advised.
So right now, man, we're reacting to some basketball reach. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Basically, this is a video on 76'ers. You know, they just recruited Paul George. We already got Embiid. We got Maxey. We got a couple of. We got a big three. You know what I'm saying? We got a real big three and a little bit more. You feel what I'm saying? So let's see what's popping, man. I'm proud to be a Sixers fan right now. Not to say I'm a bandwagon, but I fuck with the team right now.
What? That nigga's tripping.
I want to keep up where Westbrook is right now as well. Westbrook just got traded to the Nuggets. So, you know what I'm saying? I think it's the Nuggets or the Wizards. I'm not sure. But I can't wait for ball season. We're going to see how things go. Let's get into the video.
Philadelphia 76ers had the dream off season, adding veteran talent and getting an extension done with Joel Embiid. Many have this 76ers team as the second best team in the Eastern Conference. And in this video, I'll give you 4 reasons why this could be the case. Then we're going to use those reasons to put them face to face against the Boston Celtics to see who would win in a 7-game series.
Basically, they're saying the Celtics is the #1 team. Obviously, they got Jason Tatum, bro. Nobody could guard him. Like, literally, any position to position, nobody can guard Tatum. Prove me wrong. Tell me in the comments who's guarding Tatum, yo.
That bucket. Lowry operating. This is Embiid. Crowded. Fires. And he buries it.
The first reason why the Philadelphia 76ers could be the best team in the East next season has to do with just how good Joel Embiid was last season. Joel Embiid would have certainly won the MVP last season if he didn't get injured. In the month of December alone, Joel had a truly historic month, putting up a ridiculous 40.2 points, 12.6 rebounds, 1.4 steals, and 2.1 blocks on 60, 40, 92 shooting splits. The shooting splits throughout the month of December for Joel Embiid were well above the 50-40-90 club, which has only ever been achieved 9 times over the course of an entire season. Some of those legendary scorers that were able to achieve this mark were Steve Nash, Larry Bird, and Kevin Durant, who all did it multiple times. At all 3 levels, Joel Embiid is truly an elite scorer. Deep in the paint is where Embiid can dominate using his size and strength. Here, knowing exactly where the double team is coming from, as he's able to spin the other way for a fadeaway over OG Anunoby. Coming downhill, Joel gets to a tough Euro step move for 2 more.
He moving smooth to be that big. I see why he got a little bit of injury in the knees, man. Like, he got a lot of weight on his body, bruh. He a big guy. He's moving that nimble, bro. It's impressive. I'm not gonna lie. It's very impressive. Scary to be guarding him. Very scary.
This new Nick Nurse-led Sixers offense, Philly now more than ever can fully clear the lane, using 4 3-point threats. With the floors spaced, it makes it much harder to double-team Embiid, and most importantly, much more risky, as Joel's playmaking has continued to improve. The Sixers have adjusted their offensive game plan to get Embiid the easiest looks possible.
Bro, that shit crazy.
Between confusion from Paul Gafford and a DeAnthony Melton screen, Embiid gets an easy 2 at the basket. Now, yes, this is against the Wizards defense, who weren't a good defensive team. But even against the #1 rated defense in the league last season, Joel Embiid was still able to pick them apart. Here, with Karl Anthony Towns guarding him tight, Joel puts his head down, getting deep into the paint for 2. Now in the 2-man game with Tyrese Maxey, Embiid gets open beyond the arc. Joel now attacks the closeout of Gobert, but this time he pulls up on the mid-range. These last 2 plays, I would like to see a lot more of that, man. How difficult it is to contain Joel Embiid, and that that's because of just how unpredictable he truly is.
I just want to say, man, big ups to the editor and the commentating behind this video. This shit is well put together, man. I love the production, man. I'm about to see. Let's bump this thing up. Let's lock it in, man.
This clip against Nikola Vucevic perfectly illustrates this point, as the Chicago defense has no idea if he's going to drive or shoot. And Embiid will stand and wait for the defense to make a move, and once they do, he pounces, this time rising up for the jumper. As an opposing defense, you can't scheme against this guy, as you have to play a little off him to not let him get to his drives, but you also have to play him close enough to be able to contest the jumper, leading to a matchup nightmare for anybody in this league, as you can't make a game plan around something as unpredictable as Joel Embiid. And this is why he's the most unguardable player in the NBA right now. And if he's able to stay healthy, he could take them very deep into the postseason.
That's your best matchup.
However, that's been the talking point for Joel Embiid over his entire career. As even after 8 seasons in the NBA,
we need a chip, Embiid. We need a chip, bro. I want this for you, bro.
Embiid is still yet to make an appearance in the conference finals or even play more than 70 games throughout a season. Even though Joel Embiid was playing through knee injuries last postseason, he still managed to have his best playoffs by far, averaging 33 points per game on good efficiency, shooting 44, 33, 85. However, his Sixers still fell in 6 games in a tough series against the Knicks. So this leaves 2 giant questions to be answered next season for Joel Embiid. First, is it possible for Embiid to enter the postseason fully healthy and stay that way? And secondly, if he does, will it be good enough to beat the Boston Celtics? These next 3 reasons will help to uncover the potential answers.
George. He need to take it easy on his legs, bro. Like we use Embiid a lot. It's just like how we got going on with the Eagles and how we're gauging using Saquon Barkley. We're in season, yeah, but we're not, pushing him to the max. You feel what I'm saying? We could run Saquon Barkley every drive, but what good is that going to do for us later on in the game? You feel what I'm saying? It's just going to force us to get more injuries and stuff like that. So I feel like we have what? But we have another big guy that can really hold down the paint, get the rebounds, and do everything like that. But we just need efficient scoring and efficient defense on the other side. If Embiid just come down and just be an offensive threat, that's what they're highlighting. Other than just being a big presence on the court, anybody could do that. The only thing that we're missing without Embiid is that efficient scoring on the offensive side. Respectfully, right? Other than that, it's the spacing that Embiid, because he's an offensive threat, it's the spacing that opens up the floor. And if he could get other looks aside from just what Embiid can do, it'll help out.
3 to shoot, gets down, lets it fly for the lead.
That's a fucking great move, bro.
He's got 28 for the Cavaliers. He gets downhill, he gets to the rim, blocked by George.
The second reason why the Sixers could be the best team in the Eastern Conference next season is because of what Paul George could bring to this team. After not coming to an agreement with the Clippers, PG headed east and decided to join the 76'ers, who after parting ways with James Harden had plenty of salary to sign him and still get quality role players, which we'll take a deeper look at later in this video. Paul George is a huge upgrade over Tobias Harris at the 3 or the 4, as George is not only a better scorer at all 3 levels, but he's also a much better defensive player than Harris. This 2-way ability will be huge for the Sixers next season. Paul George is able to score within the flow of a team's offense, off cuts, and catch and shoot looks. But his most valuable asset on offense is his isolation scoring. Here, Kawhi will allow PG to switch on the...
So if he got the isolation, then he can do exactly what Embiid does and kind of clean up the floor a little bit, or assist a little bit in not having Embiid have to be on the floor, and still have an ISO game and be able to spread the floor like Embiid has an ISO game and spread the floor. I doubt he will be able to do what Embiid does specifically, but if he can do it effectively, or a little more better than Embiid, it's a win-win. You know what I'm saying?
The bigger Markkanen, and by using a behind-the-back dribble and a step back, PG knocks down the long 2. Here, Kawhi's forced to pick up his dribble in the paint and has to get it out to PG, who's first able to attack the closeout of Horton Tucker and then finish over the contest of Walker Kessler. Here, PG makes the read that Dunn is dropping back, and George doesn't waste any time, pulling up on the long ball and knocking it down to take a 1-point lead late.
George could be deadly, bro.
PG does this a lot, as now it's Wagner who's on his heels, allowing George another pull-up three.
He could be deadly. He's a rhythm shooter.
Plumlee screen to receive the ball from Bones. And now again with Wagner, PG
score, you know
uses a quick crossover and a step back for the separation needed to make another triple.
His scoring isn't like a James Harden ISO scoring. He's like a college player, like healthy prime college player scorer type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a prime Carmelo Anthony scorer. And that's just his bag. You know what I'm saying? Smooth P. That's just what he does. Now, can we bring it at a higher efficiency and a more consistent situation when it comes to it? That's what we really want to, we really want to get that thing, like the cylinders firing on all pistons. You know what I'm saying?
His isolation game works at all levels, as here he's able to control his body for a tough finish, and now Boston Reeves, it's the same step back move we saw before. Here against one of the league's best defenders in Anthony Davis, Paul George isn't afraid to attack him off the bounce, blowing on by and then finishing through contact for a foul and one. Now in another big moment, it's Russell who picks him up. PG will again make the read that Russell's retreating, which allows him the space necessary for another triple. Even with multiple defenders, PG can still make a play, first splitting the double team and then finishing through the contact for the deuce. This level of shot making in a pinch is going to be a huge plus for the Sixers next season, but it's not that simple. To an extent, it almost feels like deja vu, as when the Sixers traded for James Harden, it felt like a clunky existence with Joel Embiid, as both players wanted to take more isolation looks, as the Sixers offense quickly turned into my turn, your turn ball. Although James Harden would soon start making plays with Embiid out of the pick and roll, it didn't matter, as whenever James Harden was scoring the ball for himself, it just didn't feel productive. Paul George can take these kind of isolation looks more often without Embiid on the floor, but when Joel was in the game, George will need to keep his teammates involved, making quick decisions and keeping the ball moving. If PG and Embiid can coexist without any issues, that will make this six.
I feel like with Harden is stuck in the limelight of being a superstar. You feel what I'm saying? An ISO superstar. You feel what I'm saying? Which is terrible, because then they put him at a point guard position and that's all he does at that point. He gets the ball primarily and it's just stuck with him type shit. It's not a lot of plays that you're going to run around with James Harden being a point guard. His first instinct is ISO. But with Paul George, he's at the small forward shooting guard. He's not prime point guard, right? So we still got Maxey that's going to run the plays and get the open looks for Paul George. So even if he need to catch and shoot, or he need to space the floor to get that ISO to get it going, I feel like that's better for him. You feel me? I feel like there's a better role for their situation versus, James Harden being a primary point guard and trying to just pick and roll. Is not going. It's closing up the court, because now who's going to get James Harden the looks? Who's going to get the off ball screens? The catch and shoots when James Harden is really their best shooter. You know what I'm saying?
His team a true title contender.
Don't pick up
Maxey start going off
because they're crowding that paint.
Maxey start going off as a prime guard.
Midair.
That he's given opportunity.
Maxey start going off as a prime guard. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the third card right there.
The third reason why the 76ers could be the best team in the East next season has to do with how they utilize Tyrese Maxey. Last season, the loss of Embiid allowed the breakout of Maxey.
I ain't gonna lie. I know basketball. That's the thing. I know basketball. When I'm in something and I'm invested in something, like it ain't no little light work. I'm trying to build that legacy around it. You feel what I'm saying?
Who averaged 25.9 points, 6.2 assists, and a steal on 45% shooting. Tyrese is an effective scorer from outside, which then sets up his inside. You can't have the defense.
You can't have a V12 with only 10 pistons running on a V12. Nigga, that shit ain't running, baby. You got backfiring the whole engine by the.
Cause I hurt you too deep. Take the world up off your back. You really stuck it out with me.
Is aware of Maxey's speed with the ball, they often sag off of him, which allows him to get looks from the outside. But then when the defense does come up to meet him, he's going to leave you in the dust, which makes him a very tough guard. Even when you think you've played him perfectly, like Chris Dunn does here, it doesn't matter, as Maxey can also finish through contact. Here, Collins gets switched on to Maxey in transition and knows he's not going to be able to keep up with him, so he sags off, allowing Maxey the triple. Here, Chris Dunn will make the closeout.
I've been playing with the Sixers on my 2K shit. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure y'all check out my 2K videos. I just dropped one recently. That nigga freak, chat. That nigga freak. That nigga freak. Somebody with a mic freak. Somebody with a mic freak. So make sure you check out my live streams. I like to play 2K a lot, yo. So
to Maxey, and this is what happens as Tyrese loses him for 2. Then again with Chris Dunn, he gets caught way too far out on Maxey as he takes advantage. But this time Maxey throws a curveball into the mix, as even though he's lost Dunn, he still steps back, completely losing him for an open 3. What makes this even harder for opposing defenses is the fact that Maxey is a willing and capable 3-point shooter, this time pulling one from Steph Curry range and knocks it down. Out on the break is where he can really be deadly, as here Kelly Olynyk looks around as if to say, help me, as Maxey beats him back for 2. A lineup with just Maxey and George could be an intriguing one, as the speed of Maxey and the shot making of Paul George might give the Sixers a potential lineup that can actually outscore opponents when Embiid is off the floor.
He's a strong guy. He's a healthy man. The fourth reason why the 76ers could be the best team in the East next season is because of the other additions they made, along with signing Paul George. Yes, sir. So we got Oubre. You got motherfucking okay, I don't know anybody else. I can't remember everybody else off top. But okay, we got Andre Drummond. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's DeAndre Jordan or Andre Drummond. Like, you see how I get those confused. The DA or the AD. You feel me? I mean the DJ or the AD. I don't know. But yeah, you got that. Then you also got who's this other guy that could shoot? They probably about to say.
The 76ers also brought in Caleb Martin, Andre Drummond, Reggie Jackson, and the rookie Jared McCain, along with re-signing Kelly Oubre.
And then we got
This is undoubtedly the deepest team Embiid has ever had. As between the scoring ability of PG and
I haven't seen Jared McCain game. I haven't seen him play at all. I guess that's something I want to study up. I've been meaning to study up on the Sixers overall just to see how to get this thing rolling. But I'm going to have to get into it. I'm going to have to see what Jared McCain's game look like. I think that's going to be one of the videos I'm going to do next, because that's going to be the freshest thing that I haven't been exposed to. So
Maxey, along with the defense and shooting of Oubre, Martin, and Jackson, the 76ers have constructed the deepest team in basketball. With this, Embiid has decided it's time to sign the extension, which sees him remain a Sixer until 2029, along with an extra $193 million. This is the time to win a title, as Joel Embiid is not getting any younger. But to really understand just how these new additions are going to help the Sixers contend for that elusive NBA title, we need to take a deeper look into what each player brings to the table, using the crafted NBA stats. Starting off with Caleb Martin, who's a great 3-and-D type player that would be a great fit either in the starting lineup or off the bench. On defense, Martin forces turnovers in the 97th percentile, protects drives to the paint in the 72nd percentile, and is a versatile defender, which is good enough to see Caleb Martin rank in the 79th percentile as an overall defensive player, with his most similar defensive player in the NBA being Nickeil Alexander-Walker, which is great company.
Who's going to guard Jason Tatum? That's the main thing. Can PG guard? I'll put PG on Tatum for real. But like, I don't know if this is gonna bring, the same effect coming back down the court, where it's you know what I'm saying? You got to play both sides. If you do guarding Tatum, it's not gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying? But are you gonna be able to also score down on the other side? I could put Caleb Martin on Tatum, respectfully. Like,
on offense, Caleb is average at about everything. Not being outstanding at any one thing, but just being solid across the board, giving him an overall offensive rating in the 47th percentile, being most similar to Dyson Daniels now on the Atlanta Hawks. Then moving on to Andre Drummond, who had a resurgence in Chicago, as he managed to grab 9 rebounds off the bench in limited minutes.
So you got a big guy
he's the game's best offensive rebounder.
If you got both of them on the floor, listen, this is your 5. Maxey, PG. I wouldn't even put PG as shooter. I'll put Maxey, and you got PJ Tucker. Am I mistaken? PJ Tucker still there? Damn. Maxey, PJ Tucker, PG, Andre Drummond, and Embiid. Now that's a tough situation. It's gonna depend on what you're looking at defensively. If you want to have 2 bigs, or if you want to have another offensive threat between Andre Drummond and even PJ Tucker. But other than that, those your 3. Your big 3 is Maxey, Paul George, and Andre Drummond. and Embiid. After that, you could mirror and you could switch and swap everything around it, and you still might be able to convert. They both there defensively. They all hustle. They all there defensively. My mistake. They all hustle. Embiid is the only person that you might have to move around the most because, you know, we have to really fear what he got going on. You know what I'm saying? But it's not even that bad. You know, I'm confident that he could do quarters, but it's about these games and how often we have to play. You're looking at 80 plus games, I think. So,
ranking in the 100th percentile on offensive rebounding, while he also finds himself in the 95th percentile in free throw rate, with his offensive lookalike being Clint Capella. Then on defense, he has an impressive resume, as he's in the 90th percentile in deflections, 94th in forced turnovers, 85th in defensive rebounding, 67th in rim defense, and 88th in block percentage, which sees him rank in the 70th percentile as an overall defender. This score is low because of his 8th percentile ranking.
I think it's
in
good
defensive
though.
Versatility. But when you consider the fact that he's just got...
They can go with both of them not being on the court. I mean, they can go with one of them not being on the court. But both of them being on the court is a crazy defensive presence that would really, like, shut shit down. You know what I'm saying? Nothing inside at all. You know what I mean? It would probably hurt more when it comes to being on the three and getting cuts. So it depends. It's so many. You gotta just see, like,
he actually doesn't
like,
need to be versatile. His most like-to-like defender in basketball is Alperen Şengün, which kind of tells us more about Şengün than it does Drummond, as he's certainly a rising star in the NBA. Then with Reggie Jackson, he was able to provide a steady contribution for the Nuggets last season, after not even being in the rotation when they won the championship, putting up 10.2 points per game in only 22 minutes of court time. Jackson on offense can be quite streaky, but he is a good passer, as Crafted rates his passing ability at 84 out of 100. But his overall offensive rating is in the 30th percentile compared to Dennis Schroeder. On defense, his numbers aren't good, ranking in the 9th percentile as an overall defensive player. But where his value is noticed is his ability to handle the basketball and just run simple plays off the bench, acting as a team's floor general, which when Maxey or Lowry isn't in the game, will be handy. Now moving on to Kelly Oubre, he's proved his worth. As after signing the minimum deal with the Sixers only a season ago, they re-signed him to a larger contract after he put up 15.4 points, 5 rebounds with 1.1 steals on 44%.
He's going to be a threat. He's a threat.
The three ball was the main offensive issue for Kelly last season, as he only managed a 33% shooting percentage from beyond the arc. But his defense somewhat made up for that, as his overall size and strength makes him an extremely versatile defender,
slasher.
ranking in the 89th percentile. However, something that knocks his...
He got to be a bruiser and a slasher, bro. Respectfully, like that nice drive. If he could drive and kick, like he's very athletic from what I'm seeing. Like he'll beat a lot of defenders on a size up. He's just smooth with the hezzy to the, you know what I'm saying, and then a nice dish. I see him rising over motherfuckers and being able to bang on them. Like I know he could do that, and it seems like he has the agility and the health to not injure himself while doing that on a normal. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Overall defensive rating
He's
down,
one of those guys.
Despite being great in the passing lanes and forcing turnovers, is his lack of ability to defend without fouling, as he's in the 30th percentile for that stat, which in turn dropped his defense all the way down to the 25th percentile. It's worth noting that his defense was better in the playoffs, and so was his three ball, which improved from 33% to 39%. Really well. However, if Caleb Martin can burst out of the gates, Oubre might find himself in a battle for minutes, which is a space that we need to watch coming into next season.
I know he could bring
now
it in.
Taking these stats and information, we can now pit them against the reigning champion Boston Celtics. Boston have a great...
I say play Caleb Martin wing corner, of course, but slashing for the wing. I'm slashing for the ring, shooting for the corner.
Defensive backcourt with Drew Holiday and Derek White, who would make life very hard for Tyrese Maxey, who might even be played out of the series. Paul George would have to deal with Jaylen Brown, who's an elite defender in his own right, which is another good matchup for Boston. Embiid should be the one with the chance to make the impact on the series, but we've seen this story before, as despite how old Al Horford is, he always seems to have his way with Joel. This time round, though, Al Horford is 2 years older than their last...
If you got Embiid at the high post, if you keep Oubre baseline, slashing baseline every time, bro, you'll open up the court a lot, and every time you got a open drive to the right side of that court. You get what I'm saying? Like, or depending on which side you're on. I'm in my head, I got him playing the right side.
playoff matchup back in 2023, and hopefully with some injury luck on Embiid's side, I'd expect a huge series from Joel. Embiid's size and strength advantage over Porzingis would force Boston to have to double team him nearly every possession, which would in turn open up threes for Oubre or Martin, which is a story the Celtics have had to deal with before in the battles against the Miami Heat. Then on defense, PG would likely go to Jaylen Brown, while either Oubre or Martin would find themselves on Tatum due to the Sixers not wanting to risk George getting into foul trouble. As good as White and Holiday can be offensively, they don't require a defensive stopper, as Maxey would likely just rest on White.
See, so Embiid's spot is right there at the fucking free throw line, bro, at the elbow, bro. If Embiid is at the elbow, bro, that's your shot. Y'all should already know that. At that point, if Embiid can knock him down, bro, he just hit them shots. Like, you just work Oubre inside. You work Paul George at least at the mid-range. Just so Oubre at least could bruise up and down there a little bit. And then you got Maxey who could fast break, push the ball, play make. You got Reggie that could push the ball, fast break, play make. You got who's that other guy? Martin that could hit them threes. If he could hit them, knock them threes down. You feel what I'm saying? And still be there defensively too.
Because of Holiday's strength. Embiid would then also have to hold up on defense, as Kristaps Porzingis can not only score from inside, but the perimeter also. Ultimately, this 76ers team goes as far as Joel Embiid can take them, as if he could be healthy for a postseason and play well in general, I could see the 76ers coming out on top. But that's just my take.
You don't usually see a team that's worked around the big. You usually see a team that's worked around the guard or the shooters. But in this situation, Embiid has the ball in his court.
Thing. Are the Philadelphia 76ers the real deal?
He needs to know it's not all about him. Like, he needs to know, or he needs to at least ball and operate as if, you know, he needs to feed everybody, get everybody involved, get the right people going, so that he's not pushing him and putting himself in dire predicaments.
Will the Joel Embiid Paul George pairing go down just like the James Harden one did? Let me know in the comments below.
Flush the three, man. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be threatening, bro. It's gonna be threatening. If Embiid could get the playmaking going, imagine a big guard, bro. You play Embiid too high, you got the paint wide open. You don't play Embiid enough, he pulling that. If you don't, you know what I'm saying, yo, it could be critical. We gotta see how this shit go, man. I can't wait, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Feel what I'm saying? Blessings. We out this joint. Peace. Your drip is home, yeah.